the subscribe button if you don't want me to come at night.
Have you ever crossed paths with a black cat and felt a shiver run down your spine as if you've just invited a curse on yourself? The shadowy figure of a black cat, its eyes gleaming in the darkness, is a sight that has sent chills down the spine of many a brave soul. This isn't a mere superstition, my friends. Oh no, it's a chilling tale that has its roots deep in history and culture. A tale that has been whispered from one generation to the next, gaining fearful respect and a haunting reputation. This is the tale of the Black Cat Curse. This curse is not a figment of imagination. It's a phenomenon that's been witnessed and experienced by countless individuals throughout history. From the quiet suburbs of California to the bustling streets of New York, from the narrow lanes of London to the sprawling metropolis of Tokyo, the curse of the Black Cat has left its eerie mark. The stories are as varied as they are terrifying. A successful businessman at the peak of his career crosses paths with a black cat. Soon after, his fortune takes a drastic turn, his empire crumbles, and he's left in financial ruins. A young couple, blissfully happy and expecting their first child, encounter a black cat on their way home. Tragedy strikes and they're left mourning a future that could have been. And these are not isolated incidents. There are countless more tales, each more chilling than the last, of lives turned upside down after an encounter with a black cat. The common thread, the eerie presence of this enigmatic creature, its path intertwined with those it curses, bringing about a series of unfortunate events that defy logic and reason. This isn't just a campfire story, a tale to keep children awake at night. It's a disturbing reality that has baffled and terrified people for centuries. A reality that forces us to question the line between the natural and the supernatural, the known and the unknown, the rational and the irrational. This isn't just a superstition, it's an eerie reality for many who have suffered the wrath of the Black Cat Curse. Imagine walking down a dimly lit alley and suddenly a pair of bright yellow eyes pierces through the darkness. Your heart skips a beat. You freeze, your breath held hostage by a fear you can't quite pinpoint. There, lurking in the shadows, is a black cat. Its fur, a glossy obsidian, absorbs the scant light, giving the creature an otherworldly aura. This isn't just any black cat. It moves with a grace that is almost eerie, its steps measured and silent. A chill races down your spine as those yellow eyes fixate on you, their gaze unblinking, almost hypnotic. The air around you seems to grow colder, denser, as if the world itself is holding its breath. As you watch, the cat begins to move. It doesn't scamper or dash like a regular feline. Instead, it saunters, its tail swishing in a slow, deliberate rhythm. The cat walks directly across your path, its eyes never leaving yours. The dread within you intensifies, a primal fear that seems to echo from a time when humans huddled around fires, whispering stories of creatures that lurked in the darkness. Your mind races, recalling tales of black cats and the misfortunes they bring. Every step the creature takes seems to draw out the moment, amplifying your fear. The cat, seemingly aware of your discomfort, pauses, its yellow eyes gleaming in the dim light. It's as if it's daring you to continue your journey, challenging you to tempt fate. In that moment, time seems to stretch into eternity. Your heart pounds in your chest like a drum of impending doom. The cat's gaze never wavers, its eyes reflecting your fear back at you, amplifying it, feeding on it. The silence of the alley is broken only by your ragged breaths and the distant hollow echo of a lone owl. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, the cat moves on, disappearing into the shadows, leaving you alone in the alley with your pounding heart and your unspoken fear. The dread doesn't fade, though. Instead, it lingers, hanging in the air like a ghost. As the black cat crossed his path, he could almost feel the curse seeping into his very soul. In the days following the encounter, life as he knew it began to unravel. Picture a world where every step you take seems to lead you further into a shadowy abyss of misfortune. That was his world post-encounter. It all began subtly enough. The milk curdled, plants withered, and technology malfunctioned at the worst possible moments. Then came the accidents. A slip here, a fall there, and the inexplicable shattering of mirrors. It was as if an unseen force was toying with him, turning his once mundane existence into a macabre dance of calamity. And the dreams, oh the dreams, haunting visions of the black cat, its emerald eyes glowing with an otherworldly light, its meow echoing like a chilling dirge in the graveyard of his sleep. He'd wake up drenched in sweat, the echo of the cat's meow still ringing in his ears, a palpable dread hanging in the air. His friends began to notice too. They'd laugh it off initially, attributing the series of unfortunate events to bad luck or coincidence, until the accident started affecting them too. A friend's car broke down, another lost his job, yet another fell ill. The laughter soon turned to unease. The cat, that damn black cat, seemed to be at the epicenter of this whirlwind of misfortune. It would appear at the most random places, its eyes a silent testament to the havoc it had wreaked on his life. It was no longer just an animal. It was a harbinger of chaos, a malevolent force that had marked him for some unfathomable reason. His pleas for help fell on deaf ears. People thought he was losing his mind. The more he tried to explain, the more they distanced themselves. He was alone, isolated, with the weight of the curse bearing down on him, the fear, the suspense, the endless cycle of unfortunate events. It was all too real, too terrifying. It was no longer about escaping the curse, it was about surviving it. The curse of the black cat was no longer a mere superstition, but a horrifying reality he was forced to live. In desperation, he sought to break free from the terrifying grip of the curse. Our protagonist, let's call him John, had been ensnared by the black cat's curse, with every misfortune seemingly tied to that fateful encounter. John wasn't one to believe in such superstitions, but the mounting horrors were too much to ignore. He was desperate, and desperation can make even the staunchest skeptic turn to the unconventional for salvation. John sought help from every corner he could think of. He visited scholars, people well-versed in ancient lore, hoping their knowledge might hold the key to his freedom. But their words, though filled with wisdom, offered no solace. If anything, the ominous tales they spun only further entrenched his dread. He sought counsel from spiritual leaders, appealing to their benevolent powers for protection. But their prayers, though fervent and heartfelt, seemed powerless against the malevolent force that had marked him. He even turned to the world of the occult, braving the darkness he once scoffed at, bargaining with entities he didn't dare to believe in. But their rituals, though shrouded in mystery and power, bore no fruit. Each attempt, each failure only amplified the horror of his situation. His efforts, far from freeing him, seemed to tighten the curse's grip, pulling him deeper into its terrifying clutches. The suspense reached its peak as he realized, with chilling clarity, that his actions had been in vain. His life had become a nightmarish game of cat and mouse, with the black cat always one step ahead, always watching, its green eyes glowing in the dark, a constant reminder of the curse that held him captive. John was trapped, ensnared in a web woven from his own desperation and fear. He was a man haunted not by ghosts or ghouls, but by a curse born from the depths of horror itself. His desperate attempts to break free seemed to only amuse the puppeteer controlling his fate, the black cat. The more he struggled, the tighter the curse's icy grip became. The chilling truth was that the curse wasn't just a part of his life now, it was his life, and the black cat was always watching, always waiting. In the end, the truth was more terrifying than he could ever imagine. As he found himself spiraling deeper into the abyss of the unknown, the chilling realization dawned upon him. It was not a mere curse he was entangled in, it was far more sinister. He was haunted by the spirit of the black cat itself. Like a shadow in the darkest corners of his life, the black cat's spirit had been lurking all along, silently weaving its web of terror. This was no random string of unfortunate events. It wasn't bad luck nor a coincidence. The black cat was not a harbinger of doom, but the architect of it. Its spirit didn't merely cross his path, it infiltrated his life, his dreams, his sanity. It was an insidious presence, a phantom that fed off his fear and reveled in his despair. Each misfortune, each eerie occurrence was a meticulously planned stroke by this spectral feline. This was not a curse to be broken, but a haunting to be endured. The black cat was not a symbol of ill fortune, but an embodiment of pure, unadulterated horror. His life had become the playground for this spectral entity, his existence a theater for its terrifying games. The very fabric of his reality was now intertwined with the supernatural, the mundane interlaced with the macabre. It was a frightening reality he could neither escape nor deny. Now, he saw the truth in all its horrifying glory. The black cat was not an omen to be feared, but a specter to be dreaded. Its curse was not a passing misfortune, but a permanent haunting. This revelation, this harrowing truth, it was his cross to bear, his nightmare to live. The dread of the black cat's curse had been replaced by a far more terrifying reality. He was not living under a curse, but in the chilling grasp of a haunting that would forever cast a shadow over his life, a spectral black cat forever lurking in the corners of his existence. The curse of the black cat was not just a series of unfortunate events, but a horrifying ordeal that left him forever haunted.
Hit the subscribe button if you don't want me to come at night.